on, gentle people. Turn on this music a bit. I think that should be low enough. I think. 1 second. Oh, yeah, that should be just right. Yeah, man, so at it again there. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Manga Chapter 31. Welcome, gentle people. Shout out to those of you who will be stopping by. Friendly neighborhood Uchiha here. Yeah, I think everything should be looking just right. So let's kind of just dive into it for the most part. Of course, you can let me know if the music in relation to my voice is just right, even though I think it should be. Shouldn't be too distracting. So, hopefully. Well, I hope everyone's good. Hope everyone had a great day. Boy, I feel like the year just kind of done already, but you know how it go. But of course, definitely leave a like. Let me know what you thought about this chapter because, you know, of course, I'm sure you've read it already. Of course, you can drop your chapter ratings, if anything. So yeah. So Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 31. Shut up. Of course, we have a cover picture here. Cover here with Ada. This a clipping mask effect. I must say I wasn't really expecting it, but I guess since Ada is kind of a, you know, fashion-y, you know, type of girl, I guess it makes sense, like having her like, you know, like a magazine. Anyway, here we go. So last time we had Kashin Koji and his grand plan to have the chaperone killed. Now you've annoyed me. Let's kill him. Let them do the rest. Go on. Undo the mind transfer and release Kobu. Are you serious? This guy's a civilian. I told you, Inojin, there's no room for debate. Hurry up and get out of Kobu's body. If you don't and Kobu is killed, you'll die along with him. That's how the jutsu works. You think I don't know that? It's just... Inojin, undo it now. Jump out of the way. Damn it, so sluggish. This body can't move at all. That's crazy. You know, I would think you'd be able to like, oh, let me just see if I can work on, you know, using the chakra of this body. Just blend that mental and physical energy. But I guess Kobu isn't that athletic for the most part for the physical energy part. Stop right there, Inojin. What are you doing? Shut up. If I can't protect someone under such conditions, I don't deserve to call myself a shinobi. Which is interesting because, again, it goes back to what I was saying with Konohamaru when we had a whole confrontation with Matsuri in terms of just the differences between Konohamaru and below's generation compared to Naruto's generation and above, in terms of the whole culture of shinobi has changed, right? I mean, logically and being used as a tool, you know, persons in maybe like Zabuza's generation up would have definitely just abandoned the body and called it a day. So it's going to be interesting in the grand scheme because, you know, this seems like it's setting up for an interesting character arc for Kashin Koji too. I guess in simpler terms become softer, but you know, obviously it's more complex than that. I hope Inojin's okay. He better reconnect us all soon. Otherwise, I have no idea what's going on outside. Why don't you just look using your Senrigan like you usually do? You're watching, aren't you, Ada? Our eyes met the one time I watched that geezer. He could definitely see me. I suspect he can gather intel from looking into other people's eyes. He has that special ability. Okay, interesting. Hold on 1 second. Let me just kind of pop this out. Play. Ah, yeah, so where was I? In addition to multiplying like crazy, if I were to use Senrigan right now, he'd know exactly where I am. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what he wants. Alright, we have the Sarada Delta duo. Hey, we've shown ourselves openly, so where is that wench? Are you sure she's here in this village? Relax, she takes one look at us and she's done. We'll know where she is. So how much longer is it gonna take? Eh. Mamushi's have a fight amongst himself. That's ridiculous, bro. Eep. Shut up, you damn bug. Pun intended, I suppose. What do you think you're doing, you idiot? Shut up, you wanna die too? The heck is with them? Up with them. Their intellect has dropped so low they've become an irrational mob. Wow. This is bad, run. Tell me, Shikamaru, what are you up to? Is Inojin safe? Our foe is the divine tree being Mamushi. His target isn't Konoha. It's Ada. That's news to me. Where's this intel from? Listen, Sai, I don't have the time to explain it all to you. I'm in charge of running this interrogation. So answer me, Shikamaru, before it gets ugly. Okay, Sai with the threats. No, you understand this, Sai. I get your concern for Inojin. But we are shinobi first and foremost, before we are parents. Especially during an emergency. The safety of the village and all its citizens is our priority. So first sand and now this. Another top secret mission. Tell me what you need me to do. Okay. At least Sai gets it in the grand scheme of things. Given his history in Roots, I would hope that, you know, he actually understands, you know, that he shouldn't really pry too much. That Shikamaru must be doing this for a good reason at least. This isn't like a Danzo situation. Alright. Die, you bastard. Yep. Levitating. Alright, Sarada with the Mangekyo Sharingan. Or Ohirume. Whoa. What the? What's with those spears? This is your doing. Yeah. But no, like, Sarada looking really impressive. Really impressive, not gonna lie. Oh, 1 second there. Okay. Calm, composed, collected. Whoa, in one fell swoop? But not all of them. Ohirume's gravitational force can only affect objects that I'm able to see with my own eyes. Okay. Gotcha. Alright then. In that case, any you miss. So, okay. I guess when she said that, she doesn't have to be like, say, actively looking at them, but it's like when she does look at one, it gets added to the collection of, you know, in the basket of what's affected by her gravitational force. So I'll take care of you. Alright. Heat beam eye blast. Oh boy. Alright, Delta going through, mopping up. Alright, starts bleeding. Alright, she does the explosion or the implosion. Are you okay? Oh wow. Bro, this is literally just the second time she's used it, bro, and she's already going blind. This is crazy to me, bro. I wonder if the less Uchiha blood that you have, the faster you go blind. Honestly, that's crazy. It's almost looking like some Sasuke 5 Kage Summit type of deal. Alright. Yeesh, I never thought you'd be this obstinate. Crap, at this rate. Get a hold of yourself and move on, since he's done for. Okay, how did he... You forcibly released my jutsu. How could you? Talk later. Restore the mind transmission formation first. I'm worried about our friends. What am I doing here? Who are you? What do you want? Mind transmission formation. Lord It. Inojin. Where's Lord Kobu? Up on the roof. He's been attacked by Mamushi. Hurry. Yeesh, what a punchable face you've got. You're one to talk. Can't have you die too quickly. I need to get my anger out. Lord Kobu. Hopefully this will show Lord Kobu to just, you know, the seriousness of the situation so that he can actually ease off and the shinobi can get their job done. Oh, Boruto coming in. Yo, the strongest ninja in the modern era. That is it. Karma. Yo, I went with the finesse. Absorb it. And yo, this is even more interesting because it's Boruto saving him, the person that that he's trying to capture. So this should actually change the dynamic in an interesting way, or at least I'm very curious what he'll say. Sai, take Lord Kobu to medical. Now grab onto me. Are you alright, sir? What were they? Those were divine trees. Now do you understand? They must be dealt with. Stat, please let me do my job. Fine, do what you must. However, my investigation into you isn't over now, Shikamaru. You better not think you can sweep this under the rug. After it all comes to light, we of the Land of Fire shall take whatever action is necessary. You best remember that. Yeesh. Was this pure coincidence, or did you know that I'd save Kobu? You might not consider this an answer, but in my personal opinion, that man needs to die. Oh wow. Listen up, all. The mind transmission formation is back up. Is everyone okay? Oh, thank heavens, Shika dear. We're fine over here. How are things outside? They've multiplied a lot in the last few minutes. There are at least 200 of them, maybe more. Lord It. A bunch of the Mamushi have turned into a mob, likely from a big drop in their intellect. Team 10 here, we're currently fighting some of those rogues. But there's no end to them. Our chakra is draining quick. Alright, in that case, we'll have to go with our last resort. Which is nothing complex. Just lead the Mamushi to Ada's location. What? They'll likely all show up, every last one of them, since they've gone stupid. If we focus all our battle strengths there, we can destroy them all at once. Hold on a sec. Did you say that? I see. Wait, hold on. You're going to use me as bait? I see. Why not? It's nice and simple. In fact, we should have gone with that in the first place. Yo, Damon is just ready to fight, bro. And I'm actually ready to see this man in action, to be honest. So Mamushi just needs to pull himself back together and let's get that Mamushi versus Damon fight. But to me, honestly, I think all roads are leading for Ada to actually get eaten, to be honest. Because it's like that, I don't remember the narrative term, but you know, you introduce a concept in the narrative or the plot, and I mean, you kind of have to, you know, in a long running plot, you kind of have to show what happens. It's like, oh, Jinchuriki die when they get their, you know, tail beast extracted. You probably are gonna have to show that at least once in the story. So, oh, Marl, devour. Devour eats semantics, tomatoes. Yo, but yeah, so I think narratively speaking, like Ada has to get devoured for the most part. I think all roads are actually leading towards that, and I think the one of the benefits that can actually come from that is just seeing how Damon operates as a character without Ada. That should be able to push him to see that should push him to like an interesting spot from a writing perspective to see how he actually operates in the plot going forward if Ada's out of the picture, you know. So that's pretty much it. Overall, okay to a decent chapter, I'm not gonna lie. I continue to like the dynamic flow of this arc in terms of everybody having something to do, everybody, you know, participating. I mean, we've already talked about how characters can participate in the grand scheme of things, despite the, I guess, slightly controversial power scale when it comes on to who should be able to participate. But all in all, I do like that the characters are able to participate in one way or another. Just kind of scrolling back up to the top here. Again, what I think we continue to see, and I do appreciate, is the contrast or the difference in the culture when it comes on to, say, Boruto's generation. Well, at least with the exception, let's say, Boruto and Kawaki. But yeah, Boruto's generation and you know, previous generations. I think it's kind of like telling that contrast between like old, very, very old school Naruto versus like Boruto, right? In terms of like, there's certain lines that these modern day shinobi aren't going to cross. The culture has definitely evolved and changed, and we definitely see that in the whole interaction that, you know, Inojin has with Kashin Koji and this whole Kobu situation in the beginning. And I think it's fun too, because Kashin Koji, as it stands right now, I think represents that very old school shinobi style, you know? So I think it's that interesting play of like not only just Inojin and Kashin Koji, but Kashin Koji and all the other characters. So I think that's definitely a plus in the grand scheme of things. And I think it also kind of sets up the, I don't want to say foundation, I kind of use the word foundation a lot, but it kind of sets up more of that arc for Kashin Koji to evolve as a character eventually. I guess it might be cliche, but maybe at some point he'll make a decision that's in contrast to his full-blown logical point of view. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Coming to the chat in a bit, I just want to kind of get all my thoughts out on the chapter. Of course, they have the whole revelation of, you know, Ada not wanting to use her Senrigan to see what's happening. I mean, there's a precedent for it, so we have the additional tidbit of, you know, apparently he can get intel by looking into your eyes, apparently. That's new. So I don't know, I feel like they should have probably, unless I missed it subtly from previous chapters, like have him looking into like the eyes of somebody, like maybe a chapter or two ago, and figure out something funny. I think they should have actually set that up a bit more, even though there is like a, you know, reason why Ada isn't using it. But I think in terms of the additional tidbit, instead of just tacking it on, oh, you can just get intel from just looking into your eyes, I think they should have showcased that more so in a comedic fashion with like a random Konoha citizen. So yeah, that kind of feels just tacked on, you know, I'm just saying. But it is what it is. Again, we have more of the show don't tell, which I definitely like in terms of their intelligence dropping and them kind of devolving to like just raw instinct and emotion and starting to kind of fight amongst each other. I'm glad they actually show that. I think that's a plus, similar to the whole, you know, Ada needs to be or is going to be devoured point I was making at the end there. I think it's always important to show and tell, more so show than tell, you know. So that's the thing. Of course, in terms of the characterization and the whole internal conflict that Konoha has here, I can see how some persons might find it like annoying or just taking away from the plot, but I think it definitely adds to the whole dynamicism, if I can pronounce it that way, of the whole like chapter. Like, you know, there's a lot of things going on, but what I appreciate in this, the whole, you know, back and forth between Shikamaru and Sai here, is the fact that Sai, on one side of the coin, he, you know, he has background with Root, with Danzo, with being one of the old school hardcore shinobi, but at the same time there's that character arc he had in Naruto with, you know, remembering his brother, Naruto kind of quote unquote influencing him, and him kind of getting that balance between his old and new self. And adding on to that, he's a parent now. But I think Sai has that balance to kind of see and, you know, read between the lines, you know, as a shinobi. to like do the right thing and kind of just cooperate with Shikamaru here, which I think was very much in character, but at the same time, the fact that he's a parent, I do like that he had a bit of pushback all the same. So that was pretty nice, I would say. So I think that was very much in character for the most part. Sarada looking impressive with the hacks. You guys know how I feel about Sarada beating these persons that should be beyond Jigen, right? But you know, we have the hacks of her Mangekyo Sharingan ability, and you know, getting that subtle, you know, additional points of details that okay, it's things that are within her sight, which is obvious, but apparently it kind of operates more of like, I see and add you to the gravitational basket. So you don't have to necessarily, she doesn't have to necessarily actively be looking at the character, at the person, right? Because if I'm looking at this properly, okay, she's seeing them there, she's there within her field of sight. Okay. Yeah, because she looks, and I would imagine the ones that are in front of her, no, she's not seeing all of them. So I guess once she sees you, she adds you to the gravitational basket, as I'm phrasing it, and then she can just do as she pleases with you. So yeah, pretty much. Or I could be wrong, but it seems like it's that way to me. Delta going in, yada yada yada. It's surprising to me that she's already almost blind, bro. It's actually insane to me, to be honest. This is just the second time that she's almost blind already. If I compare that to Sasuke, it's like he got it, he used it against B, he used it a few times against B, like maybe 2 or 3 times. He had the amateurs at the end, he had the Blaze release at the end, he had Shrine using the Genjutsu, so there was 3 times in the one fight. Then you had him overusing it in the Kage Summit. And then again, yeah. So I wonder if there's some kind of link between like having less Uchiha blood or DNA and going blind faster. So there's that. I don't really have to comment too much on this in terms of the whole Kashin Koji thing. I kind of talked about it in terms of the dynamic between them. But yeah, we have Kashin Koji somehow undoing the jutsu somehow, the mind transfer. Boruto coming in to save the day in style and finesse. Mr. I can end the series anytime I want, as I like to call him. But I think the silver lining, even though I was enjoying the whole political aspect of it, which it kind of feels like it's on pause for now, but with Boruto saving Kobu, and you know, what else could I say? With Boruto saving Kobu and Sarada kind of going blind, it kind of forces us to kind of push the plot forward. Like, it's not stalling on the pacing. So it's kind of like going into chapter 32, we don't really have to, if you were a person that was kind of annoyed by the political aspect, like, that's not going to be like dragging back the pacing of the story going forward too much, really and truly. So we're gonna have Kobu have kind of co-sign Shikamaru doing what he needs to do right now. So, and we're kind of getting ready to use Ada's bit. So we kind of get to see an all-out the Avengers assemble by the Ada residents. And we finally get to see Damon, you know, get ready to, you know, fight. So I'm expecting Damon to have a little matchup, or little action next chapter. All in all, I thought it was a decent chapter. I didn't really like the whole tack on of the oh, he can look in, Mamushi can look into your eyes and get intel. That felt a bit tacked on to me, but all in all, I thought it was decent. You know, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Well, that's what you guys are saying. Regarding Sarah, she's always had problems with fully utilizing Sharingan in terms of stamina. Yeah, that's true, but it just seems like she's going blind really fast. Dangling Ada in front of Mamushi while trying to stop him is gonna be crazy. He won't be acting how he's been previously. He'll become at full force to get her. Yeah, that's true, that's true. The good side have the hacks and power to deal with Mamushi. That's true, that's true. But he has the numbers, power, and infinite chakra. That's true as well. Big up listening to your comment. It does encourage you to see the outcome of Sarada. Yeah, true. Sasuke vision was starting to blur by the end of the B fight. Sarada probably has a couple more shots at MS before he loses her set completely. Really? That was the case? I'm trying to remember. I probably have to go back and look at that. But I mean, if you're saying that, it must be true. But I definitely have to go back and look at that, man. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's still crazy to me because she's only used it once before, and this is the second time. It's not like in the whole little mini skirmish with Damon, she managed to really get anything off. So, in the grand scheme of things, right? I didn't really consider the whole little skirmish with Damon like her really like quote unquote using it. So, yeah. But again, as I said, the perks, I think the good thing is that this kind of keeps the piercing. It keeps the piercing on a certain level going forward. It's like it's going to continue to be full speed ahead in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, we're not slowing down. I definitely like and appreciate that. But as I was saying earlier, I think Ada's definitely gonna have to be like devoured, right? Because like, you know, we have this whole plot setup of the Shinju wanting to devour their, you know, targets of interest, and up to this point, I mean, it's been since the Shinju have been out since what, chapter 4, and we've yet to see one of them actually accomplish one of their goals. I think it is actually time to, you know, make use of that, or actually show us the readers. And if it's a case where Ada's not going to be using her Senrigan to spy on Mamushi, or her Senrigan is quote unquote limited, no. I mean, it might make sense to kind of just like cross your T's, dot your I's, and just get rid of her right now. So there's that. Damon really and truly hasn't had much push, I think, when it comes on to 2 Blue Vortex, right? So again, I think it would have that added benefit of having Damon have like be like proactive in the narrative, right? Apart from just can I call it aura farming, really and truly? Oh, I'm the strongest, you know, like, you know, give him something proactive to do. And I think it would kind of portray him as a more dynamic character, more fleshed out, because despite the fact that he's confident and, you know, whether it be, you know, stronger than Jigen or Otsutsuki, I'm still him type of vibe, Damon, I guess, is still a kid in the grand scheme of things. So it would be interesting to see the different colors of his character come out if Ada's taken out of the picture. So there's definitely that. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. For the most part. What else can I say about this here? I guess the only other thing, I'm kind of curious when it comes on to the chaperone to Kobu, like in terms of reporting back to the feudal lord, or even what's the land of fire in terms of the government, what they'll do after all of this. I'm very curious. I'm a big like supporter of the idea of having like another faction, like the land of fire fighting force. Something like that, you know, or I don't know, like a force empowered or, you know, supported by like technology. And the fact that, for example, even that Sumere she's gotten like future information, like she has an upgrade in terms of her scientific knowledge now from her future self. So I wouldn't be surprised if, say, like the land of fire say, yo, Konoha, I need Amado, I need Katasuke, I need Sumere to outfit these special like individuals, or these handpicked individuals to kind of oversee or handle this whole situation. I think it could potentially go into a direction like that. Could be wrong, it could be reaching, but I don't know. I still think it's a possibility in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, I don't know. But what would you guys rate this chapter though? I think this is a solid 8 for me. 8.5? Okay, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. Well, it's pretty solid. I do have a video dropping tomorrow, like for the first in a while, right? Pre-recorded, crazy. So you guys can definitely look out for that. Nothing long, just maybe like 9-10 minutes tops. Little discussion video idea that came to mind over the last few days, and I decided to just record a little discussion video on it. So you can definitely look out for that. Let me know your thoughts. I think it's an idea that a lot of persons have, or it's a question a lot of persons have probably asked themselves. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think, and discussing with you guys in the comments on that video when it drops tomorrow. So yeah, but I don't know if I have anything much more to say. If I have much more to say on this chapter, really and truly, I think I've kind of dissected and talked about it, what I need to talk about in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, I think I've said what I needed to say. I guess the only other thing would be like, yo, I'm wondering if Kashin Koji is going to take any proactive measures after this, which probably won't, because he kind of needs to stay hidden. He's like the other side of that Ada coin, where it's like, yo, they're the secret coordinator, the secret weapons in terms of the characters having a advantage over the Shinju. So maybe not, maybe not. But interestingly enough, when I think about it, if Mamushi manages to get to Ada, I'm starting to think maybe, just maybe, they'll be able to find Kashin Koji without a problem after that. That kind of really changes the flow of things going forward when I think about it, right? And then they'll have the Senrigan. And then the bad guys are gonna have it. Yo, it's gonna be crazy. But I think what I'm most interested in as well is the Clawgrime devour bug and get Mamushi. What happens when Mamushi devours Ada? Do the chakras of Ada and Bog merge and produce like a new type of personality? Like, I'm just kind of wondering what happens. I feel like there was gonna be consequences no matter who lived or died. Yeah, true. But I'm here just really wondering what happens at the end of the day if in terms of the resulting personality or Shinju. What happens to Mamushi? Does he cease to exist? Does he become something else? Someone else? Should be interesting. And this is just like food for thought. I guess some of Shibai's chakra would have been in the the marks that Code used to wrap up the 10 tails and then led to the Shinju. But I'm kind of wondering, because I would imagine the fact that Ada has a decent amount of Shibai like cells or DNA integrated to the point that she can manifest the Senrigan and use omnipotence. I'm wondering what that does for the 10 tails, really and truly. Because it would be kind of like eating like a pseudo Otsutsuki. I'm wondering if we get like a partial chakra fruit from this, I mean, it's just possibilities. Anything is possible, but I'm just kind of throwing that idea out there. And then if that happens, like, does Squid swoop in and try to get it? I don't know. But anyway, I guess we'll see what's what. If nothing else, Damon versus Mamushi is coming up. I'll probably do a video on that. And, you know, so I guess you can look out for that as well. But anyway, that's all I have for this. Not a bad stream, if I do say so myself. Of course, leave a like, comment, subscribe for more Boruto content. We're getting back into it slowly but surely. And of course, next week we'll be having our end of month subscriber stream, so you can definitely come out and we just chill, talk, drink something, and just, you know, kind of catch up for that. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my reaction and my thoughts and just breakdown of the chapter. If there's anything I missed, let's kind of talk about it in the comment section. I mean, is there any last things you guys want to say before I kind of dip out and stuff my face with some food? Alright, I guess not. Alright guys, I am around for the most part, so take care of yourselves, stay safe. Sanju Uchiha, and I'll see you guys in the next one.